Their world can never be ours.
Not even pizza?
Pizza's okay. And of course, listening to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew to stations. Scanning for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, 1991. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the Master Turtle Interrupter Powers.
Yeah, a little too turtle.
And also for this discussion, we have a full dojo here.
Nice.
First, I'd like to welcome back aboard Tactics Officer Quitos Ruiz.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, Quitos. What turtle team are you a part of? Team Mikey, Team Donnie?
Oh, Team Mikey, definitely.
Team Mikey.
If the picture
Awesome.
didn't tell you. Yeah.
Well, this is an audio podcast also, Quitos. In addition to Quitos, we are glad to have back aboard ship's artist, Colin Schlicht. Hey, Colin.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Stoked to talk about the Green Machine with you guys.
Awesome. What team are you a part of?
Oh, that's tough. Sometimes I'm Leo, sometimes I'm Mikey. For this movie, though, all the way it's Donnie.
Nice.
Yes. Awesome.
Is now a good time? Did you enjoy the break from Corey Feldman's
Now
voice?
is not a good time,
All
Paul.
right, fine. We'll get back to it later. Sorry.
Another member of the Retro Rewind podcast team, ready to kick shell, is ship's historian, David Bobo Bobke. Hey, Bobo.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going well. What team are you a part of?
Oh, I'm Team Leo all the way, man. I always respect the leadership.
You know what? Yes, you should respect the leadership. You should respect that.
Paul, I respect you.
Wow. And the final ninja on
It's
the team
appreciated.
this time is Star Trek DS9 analyst, fan of video games, and amateur astronomer, Drake Tungsten. Hey, Drake, how you doing?
Hey, good.
And what team are you a member of, would you say?
I guess I'd go with Donatello.
Donatello. Awesome. Well, Drake, this is actually your third time on the show. So do you know what that means?
I think I do.
You owe
Okay.
us $5.
Wow. Well, if what you think is you get a promotion, you're promoted to a shipman, then you are correct, sir.
That is
So-
what I thought.
All right. What part of the ship would you like to serve in?
Engineering department.
Engineering.
Nice.
All right, cool. You are now ship's engineer of the pod. Thank you, Drake. And now that you have a somewhat quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze?
All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, Back from the Sewers.
I knew you were going to do that.
Was released November 15th in 1991 in Japan. It was developed by Konami for the Game Boy platform. The designer was Masashi Sakurai.
Yes, do all these Japanese names for me,
Directed by Hiroyuki Fukui. Programmers are Matsugui, Nataga, Hiro.
Paul. All right, why don't we just stop? We're talking about the movie, not the game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and not the Michael Bay one either.
Oh, 1990. Oh, Secret of the Ooze. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Secret
hold
of the
on. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, Secret of the Ooze was released March 22nd, 1991, before the Game Boy game that I had previously mentioned.
Oh,
It runs an hour and 28 minutes and is rated PG. It was directed by Michael Pressman and written by Todd W. Langen, with lead stars being Paige Turco, David Vana, and Michelin Sisti, the Michelin Man.
Sure.
Yeah, the music was composed by John Duprez. And are you ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Everyone, the dojo, are you guys all ready to guess the box office?
Cowboy.
Yes, Sensei.
Awesome. And Everyone who's here live, you're welcome to guess as well. Paul, go ahead.
All right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, was made for about $25 million and earned almost $80 million at the box office.
Nice. Very good.
Given this and the fact that it was released theatrically in 1991, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released in 1991? We'll go with the top 50.
Top 50. Let's start with Cullen. What is your guess?
Top 50, I would say 24.
24. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. That's
why I said
joke. Yeah. Drake, how about you?
15.
15. Bobo.
I have a gimmick to uphold. 42.
Nice.
42, of course. Let's see. Kitos.
28. Lucky 28.
28. For me, I'm going to say lucky 13. That's right, Kitos. I see the cut of your jib. All right, Paul. Well, and then in chat here, yes, thank you. In chat, we have, let's see. Paladin guesses 27. Stanley guesses 12. And Dale guesses 10. So what was the final? Where did it actually place, Paul?
According to the numbers.com, it came in at 19.
19.
So doing the math, I'm not sure who won that.
I believe Drake is closer with 15 than I am at 13. So good job, Drake.
No, I was thinking of the 20. Somebody guessed 24.
24. Yeah,
24.
Colin did guess 24, but he went over. This Price is Right rules.
Oh, wow.
What?
News to me, too.
Well, no, 15 to 20. Where
We're
was
good.
it?
19.
It's fine.
19,
Yeah, it's
that's
good.
5 away.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Versus
4.
15 is 4 away.
4 away. Yeah. I told you I wasn't good at math. Moving
Oh
on.
my gosh, moving on indeed. Thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind melt or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we will get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Ninja Cowboy!
Real turtles. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael.
Yeah, all the good ones, Andy, no.
Real problems.
The Shred Dude!
They're back in an awesome new movie.
Didn't we see these guys on WrestleMania?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. The Secret of the Ooze. Rated PG. Now playing at a theater near you.
Yes, playing at a theater near you, or was it? Maybe. Yeah, it probably was. I mean, that's what my memory is that came out in theaters. I haven't been to a theater so long, I forgot what they're like. But, even though I may forget some things, let's see what we forgot and remembered about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. The Turtles are back after having work done on their jaws. April is back after having a lot of work done everywhere because she looks totally different. And Shredder is back, but after sharpening his helmet, he's perfectly fine. No limp or anything. Donnie, out of his suit, helps the Brothers for Life Turtles fight Foot Clan. Oh, Kino. Foot Clan stealing from an KBFAO us. Wow. Wax on, wax off. TGIF is making ooze that mutated the turtles, and Shredder uses it to make babies. That is not Bebop and not Rocksteady, who are two gnarly-looking mutant monsters with sharp fangs and super strength. Vanilla Ice reminds us he's alive. Wow. Finally, a super overpowered mutant Shredder appears way stronger than he was in the first movie, but he still gets his butt kicked by the TMNT. A lot of that was accurate, but that last part was definitely deceptive. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Kitos this time. What was your prediction, Kitos?
I definitely thought it was going to be a classic.
Classic. How about you, Paul?
I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Bobo.
I was nostalgic as well.
Nostalgic as well. And Drake, how about you?
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Colin?
Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. Then chat here we have a classic from Paladin, nostalgic from Ashley, a nostalgic from Dale. So it's certainly in that upper echelon, but more middle of the road, it sounds like. But it'll be interesting. It's interesting to see if those predictions actually came to fruition. But first, let's get into things we liked most about TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. So let's spin up our
Best 3.
All right. This time it's only going to be best 2 since there's 6 of us. So that's 12 likes. There you go. But let's begin with Colin. What's one thing you liked about Secret of the Ooze?
Oh, man. One thing I liked about Secret of the Ooze, I would say the humor just is really good. It's like, it was almost my classic maker.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Because I just love the turtle personalities and everything, too. It's just some of the gags are like laugh out loud funny still. Like, even after so long. Like when Mikey's doing the fake the backflips, and he's like, 1, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. Yeah, and throughout there's a lot of like quick shots, a lot of quick gags, and a lot of like kind of a lot of physical humor and everything too, and kind of Three Stooges vibe. But some of it's really sharp, and there's some jokes that just like really resonated like lately. Like I would say my favorite, or one of my favorites, is when Kino kind of gives Raph some of the business when they're going to infiltrate.
Maybe I should write this down.
Yeah, and then Raph goes, "I'm being punished, aren't I?" You know, I thought that was really, really good. So
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, love the humor. Yeah, the banter, the humor is really good.
Yeah. Let's go to Drake next. What was really good for you? Was it the banter as well, or something else?
Well, I did like the banter.
Okay.
Trying to remember something else. I like David Warner.
Yes.
David Warner.
Yes. Who, but at the time of this recording, he just passed away, which is kind of sad that happened. But
he was excellent.
He was.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, I'm not going to bogart this. I'll save my comment. But so, what did you like about David Warner, Drake?
I mean, he's just, I don't know, he just does everything so well. I like the way he speaks and everything, and I like him in everything he's in. He's just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Not to rain on your parade, but I'm going to have to disagree with you a little there.
Yes, you know you don't like Time Bandits, Paul.
I was about to say, everything that I saw David Warner up to this point, whether it's Time Bandits or Tron, he was like the main villain or like a bad guy. So I kept waiting for him to like join Shredder and become Baxter Stockman. And that he just
that would have been great. Oh my gosh.
And I think while he did a fine job, I wonder if somebody would have been better for the role. And maybe somebody, especially back then, maybe someone with more comedic chops, like I don't know, Dan Aykroyd or somebody. I just if you're going to have that role there, let's spice it up with something better. I'm not saying David was a bad guy, but he should have been a bad guy because that's where his lane is. Like, he's good at that.
Okay. All right.
He was in Babylon 5 too.
He was in Babylon 5.
He was in Babylon. He was in like one episode of Babylon 5, and he wasn't a bad guy in that either.
Yeah, he was the voice of Ra's al Ghul too in the animated series.
Yeah, and the Loeb of the Freakazoid.
And wasn't he also in Star Trek?
Yes, twice.
Okay. Whoa, twice! Oh my gosh. But my little anecdote about David Warner is in this movie. Whenever he takes a bite of pepperoni, he's in the turtle area, and he says, "Pepperoni heaven," it always just like triggers a response of me wanting pepperoni pizza so badly, and I don't know why.
That's because you're Pavlov's dog.
I guess I am. Exactly.
Dude, they made pizza look so good in this movie.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That intro, it's like, wow, I'm hungry.
Yes, exactly. Bobo, what about this movie made you hungry for more of it? Because it was so good.
I've been kind of debating a few things for my first point. I guess it's because I had a few issues with this movie, but even through a lot of issues that I had, I wasn't as big a fan of the humor for the most part, except for that a little too Raph line. That's beautiful.
Yes.
But still, it still feels like a proper Turtles movie, and that's really that's really what's most important to me, I think, in the end, is just the fact that it's still got the spirit of a Ninja Turtles movie and what it should be, unlike certain movies that we won't get into. But
the third one?
I'm not aware of any third one where they get a crystal skull or anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. But
yeah, something like that.
Something like that I've never seen. But yeah, just again, like I said, the fact that even if I don't think it's a perfect movie, even if I don't think it's as good as the first movie, it still feels like a Turtles movie that I can go back to and have fun with.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Kitos, what would you go back and have fun with again if you watched this film?
I would just rewatch all the Splinter parts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I loved all of his quotes and his teachings and like all that stuff, right?
Okay.
Yes. Watching it now as an adult, I'm so surprised that stuff kind of resonates with me a lot more.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a lot of the emotional beats of the first one. I felt like there wasn't as much of that in this one, but the emotional beats in the first one definitely resonated with me much more as an adult than as a young lad.
The first one was definitely a darker, more serious tone, though. Even you know, they really lightened it up for the second one. I think, made it more kid friendly. I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's go to Paul next. What's something you really liked?
Liking everything that people have already mentioned. Something that they haven't mentioned that I liked was the music, especially the music during the fight, the Toys R Us fight or Toy Store fight. It has that, and not the opening one with. Well, that was fine too. But you know what? That Go Ninja Go Vanilla Ice song is catchy. Now it's not worth 5 minutes long of repetitiveness, but it really, that's probably like my favorite scene in the whole thing right there.
It was catchy enough that my kids wanted me to play it in the car on
there you go. Raising them right.
That song is still a banger, and it's worth the 30 seconds that he wrote for it, but then they just repeated it.
Yeah, exactly. It's very repetitive.
I'm curious, Kitos, and if this isn't your just like list, you can just say pass. But so I re-listened to our first episode, which we covered the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the way back in episode 43. So RetroRewindPodcast.com/43.
You sound like you regretted it.
No, not at all. But Kitos didn't like the music. That was one of his dislikes. I'm curious, Kitos, did it also stand out to you this time as something you didn't like, or wasn't as it wasn't as much of a con for you this time?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a con for me at all.
Weird. Okay, cool.
I enjoyed it. So
totally,
you're growing up. That's amazing. Awesome.
Or the music's better in this.
Or that. I guess that could be too.
Yeah. The music felt more ninja, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
The first one, I remember not feeling that same way.
Got it. Something that wasn't that same way in the first one either, that I really appreciate about this one, and this probably goes to, like you were saying, Colin, that this was a lighter tone. It's just that there was the Turtle Brothers were just more unified, I feel like, overall.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much strife between them. I mean, Raphael did have his moment where he didn't want to go look for the lair and he wanted to go find where the Shredder was, but overall, they were much more together and working as a team, which I really appreciated a lot more.
Yeah, it seemed like they had each other's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they got along better.
Yeah,
even
when they're picking on even when they were picking on each other, like I would notice that they would kind of rip on Mikey, and then all of a sudden Donnie would kind of be like, "Hey, it's okay, dude," you know, or he would like say something to him, you know,
exactly.
Or there'd be some gesture. It's really cool. It was a sweet brotherly relationship.
Absolutely.
Kind of off of, sort of spidering off of that. Did you notice in the very beginning when they enter the building, they actually wipe their feet before going in?
Yes.
Why do
I don't
they
know why
that?
that stuck out to me, but I was like, huh.
I did not notice that.
They do that. Huh. Yeah. And then they jump so high.
You noticed that. Oh, you mean, no. I thought you meant like they also jump down like 10, 15, 20 feet in these costumes. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Totally.
It's amazing what they're able to do. Well, there's lots of padding in those feet, apparently. Also, turtles are known from falling from great heights and being totally fine. I mean, that's just part of being a turtle. I love being a turtle. All right, guys. Well, let's get to the things we loved about these turtles, our classic makers for TMNT2, Secret of the Ooze. Let's start with Paul this time. What did you love most?
Going off what they said about the costumes, first of all, I'll start off by saying I prefer the costumes of the first movie over this, just like the look of it. But the costumes in this really make this movie for me. Not only like are they more expressive around the eyes, but it seems like they have such an agility to them, and because of that, they're able to pull off these moves. Like I said, like falling from or even jumping down, or even going down the stairs. Yeah. Like it's hard to go down the stairs in a costume, and they're just like running down. It was amazing.
Yeah. They're doing backflips in them too.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And these costumes are so good that it's an easy sell to turn my brain off and think, okay, they're supposed to belong in this world. It's what like Jim Henson does when you see the Muppets. You're supposed to think, okay, these aren't real, but I'm gonna pretend like they do. And these costumes are so well made that it's easy to do for me.
There were so many less I guess shots where they had like a dead face on, where it's like it kind of throws you back a bit. This one didn't have that at all.
Yeah, they're more expressive.
So strange because maybe I wonder if it's more about how the cinematographer. I'm not sure if that person changed or just how this was shot. Maybe it was just shot more brightly. They didn't feel as real looking to me. Yes, they could move better and articulate better. Right. Even the lip movements were a lot more matched. Because I just watched the first one again recently with my kids, and you definitely could tell there's like out of sync issues with the lips and the voice, but just overall they didn't look as real to me.
Well, that's what I mean. Like you can tell like it's not real, but they are so well crafted that it's easier to excuse.
But I'm saying they look better crafted in the first one to me.
No, it is darker.
Okay,
that's why it's darker.
Just it's just darker. Okay, all right. So it's
literally darker.
Turn down the gamma of this movie, and I'll be gold. Perfect. Okay.
Can I hop on that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, go for it, Colin.
No, just it's genius. Like the Jim Henson Studios, just magic, and the fact that it really kind of takes like three people to make a turtle. It's like the voice and then the animatronic puppeteer and then the actor to do all the moves and stuff.
Yes.
So that combination, there was times in the movie where I was just kind of swept up in it. Like, this is a Ninja Turtle, you know what I mean? And you kind of forget, which is pretty cool. Obviously it's old school, but man, it's really, really cool.
Absolutely. Classic maker in chat, Jail says, Mama. I still laugh today when I see that scene with the wolf and the other turtle, Toka and Razor. I'm curious. Let's go to Drake next. Did Toka and Razor happen to make your classic maker, or was it something else you really loved?
I guess I'm gonna go with the humor, like the little two-graph and the wax on, wax off bit, because that was the only part I actually remembered from this.
Oh, really? Wow.
Okay. I remember the intro. I remember almost nothing. I'm watching it. I'm like, did I actually even see this movie? I don't remember it. But I'm pretty sure I did. I just don't. There's not much I remember.
But the humor still was the most enjoyable thing, you think?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm with you, man.
You're with him about that. What else are you with? Anyone else? What's your classic maker, Colin?
Okay. Y'all,
nice transition.
Whatever.
This title intro sequence, after 20 years, this thing popped up. I was like, okay, we're just going to watch TMNT 2. When they came in and the title came in and stuff, that gave me chills for real.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, just that, seriously, that the freeze frame and the guitar slide and they come in and then just like, man. And then they start like, just kind of going to town on the burglars. And that was a total blast to watch. It was hilarious. I don't know. I was just grinning from ear to ear that whole entire time, just like, man. Awesome. Yeah, it was definitely nostalgic. I mean, not in the kind of way that we talk about on this pod, but more in the way that's just like it really brings you back and still helps you feel like, I don't know, brings you joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was really fun. So that's my classic maker. That intro is great.
Very cool. Bobo, introduce us to your classic maker, will you?
As much as I'd be reminded of Toka's face when he says, "Oh, mama," it's just that is a great face. I forgot about that. But my classic maker comes down to 2 words: "Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go."
Yeah,
it's the rap. It's the Vanilla Ice song, man.
So
I mean,
you love Splinter Sayings also? Go Ninja, go! I made another funny.
I'd love to hear Splinter rap for one thing, but it's like no matter what, even if I go into that scene or just that song on its own, and I'm thinking, man, Vanilla Ice sucked. What were we thinking? No, that song's awesome.
It's catchy.
There's no getting around it. And I still got a little hyped up when that part of the movie came up, and it was just the foot starts tapping, and I'm like, oh. No, let's not like Vanilla Ice.
Bouncing in my chair.
Yeah,
you can give in, Bobo. It's cool.
Yeah,
give in to the Iceman.
Anybody who remembers one thing about this movie, it's the ninja rap.
Yeah. And
definitely.
What's interesting is the rap from the first one's pretty good of itself. TURTLE power, but this one's way catchier.
Yep.
So
well, it also didn't call Raph the leader, so
that's true.
That's
true.
Yeah, and then it had like dance choreography, like the Vanilla Ice dance move. And then if you did the dance move when you were a kid, you got sent to your bedroom.
You know this from personal experience, Colin?
Maybe.
Okay. Kitos, what moved you most about TMNT2? What was your
I mean, I'm right along with everyone saying, go Ninja, go. I mean, it's so good, but I will come up with another one. Okay. And that's this one. Okay, compared to the first Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah.
This movie had so many less pop culture references.
Oh.
And
that was just like in the first one.
Yeah, that was a heavy dislike of my first one, and this time around, there's so much less that I would actually put that as a classic maker for this movie because you could actually enjoy it without having been part of those times.
You're like, this is the pop culture.
No,
Dude,
no referencing Jose Canseco. Classic.
There's some really subtle stuff in there though too. Like apparently Leo reads X-Men comics. Which is,
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, like when they're cleaning up the apartment, there's an X-Men comic, and it's Leonardo.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's nice that it's subtle. If any, if they are there, it's pretty subtle. So, I really appreciate that.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah. That would be my classic maker.
It's great.
Fantastic. My classic maker is also some that's a little. We sort of danced around it at points, but I'm just going to land on. I really like Kino, Ernie Reyes Jr., but especially his friendship with Raph. Like, I think, was it you, Colin, saying, or one of you guys saying how there's this element of Raph's like, I'm being punished, all right, because Kino's doing all this stuff that he was doing in the first movie, and it was Bobo. Thank you, Paul. Bobo that said that. Yeah, I just thought that stuff was. I love their relationship. How Raph was helping Kino do all the ninja stuff and get all the bells, but not that Kino was a slouch or anything. He was, he got to that point on his own. But I just thought that was great. Though I didn't care for so much. I didn't care so much for his I gotta help the guys, and how it kind of turned out in his favor. But then let's not talk about the ending quite yet.
I've always thought Kino was cool, man. Like I was like, dude, Kino's the coolest. Just like his shoes and his outfits and the way that he did karate and the way that he ran from freaking the foot all the way across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right.
I was like, this guy is a beast.
It made me sad not to see anything from him after this. Like, what happened?
He was in Rush Hour too.
Oh my gosh! But you know what I mean.
He was one of the turtles in the suits in the first one, right?
Right. He was Donnie.
Yeah, he was Donnie. Awesome, guys. Well, now it's time to get to the things we didn't like that weren't so awesome. Oh, wait. God, dang, you're right. I did forget something. Thank you, Bobo.
Yeah.
Glad you're here. Glad you're here to help me with these things that I forget. And that would be, I'm forgetting multiple things, it turns out.
Edna. We were
I'm not gonna. I was vamping, Paul. I was gonna do it. I got it right here.
Oops.
Causing chaos. That's what I'm here for.
That would be Geek Devotions. Geek Devotions is a collaboration of devoted geeks that are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. They produce a weekly geek culture-infused devotional, their podcast Com Talk, and written articles, all designed to encourage and challenge people in the geek community, bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdoms. They also recently released a part of their podcast feed is a new sort of segment called the Casual Gamer Society, where I believe John Harju and David Clements, they're from other podcasts in our sort of hemisphere of podcasts, that they talk about just games that they appreciate and just different gaming topics. But you can check that all out at geekdevotions.com.
Yeah, sorry, Francisco. I tuned you out because I don't see what that has to do with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
I'm sure they've covered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things. Yeah, I mean, yes, that's it. It's a secret, Paul. It's a secret.
Great. I'm so glad that you remembered that. That was worth telling. No, Geek Devotions are great. You should check them out.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a great tie-in, Paul. So
no.
you got me. You got me there. But how about I get you with some awesome trivia? How about
Please.
that? Okay.
As long as it's related to the movie, yeah, that's good.
Did you all realize that 51st Day... Wait a second. No. Did you all realize that originally the studio wanted, I guess, New Line Cinema, wanted Bebop and Rocksteady from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 cartoon to appear in this film?
Well, yeah.
However,
so did the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, Kevin Eastman and Pierre Laird, who created TMNT, were not in favor of it, so Toka and Razor were created. My question to you guys is, what character from the cartoon, it could be a villain or a protagonist, would you love to have seen in the 90s TMNT movies? So it could, and sort of in this style, essentially, of movie. What character from the cartoon would you like? Okay, Colin, go for it.
Casey Jones. No,
he was in the first one.
No, yeah, but it would have been great to see. And he's in the third one, but he's missing from this one. It'd be great to see him again.
No, one that's not in any of these, so that you could see them in this cinema style.
Why would you want to watch the third one?
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
So, but Casey Jones, you would have liked to have seen Casey Jones in this one, is what you're saying. That's fair.
Yeah, that was part of my dislikes. But I mean, as far as how about Krang?
Oh, yes. That would have been cool to see Krang for sure.
That would have been sick. Yeah.
How about you, Baba?
Yeah, Krang would definitely be one. I'll also throw out Dingus Frog.
Nice.
Is that part of the four frogs that are like corollaries to the ninja?
Napoleon and
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Drake, how about you?
Usagi Yojimbo.
You're stealing mine. Yes. Oh, also, yes. That's the rabbit, right? I'm not crazy?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
That's also not a TMNT character. It's just a crossover. So.
It's his own thing, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. And then how about you, Kitos?
So the two you mentioned before, right? Those are off limits.
Bebop and Rocksteady, you can have them, but
I would say them.
All right,
sweet.
100% them.
Yeah. Though I love Paul's idea of Baxter Stockman and this being a scientist and like radioactivity. I feel like that would be perfect.
Well, it's obvious it started out that way. This movie had a lot of trouble. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe I should have figured out that trivia. But anyway, there's my trivia for TMNT2.
Yeah, that's much better on track, Francisco. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, you bet.
So let's find out what you, our awesome rewinders, had about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, like what memories they had about it?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that would have been much better if I forget words and just talk.
Nathan James Norman says, Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. And also David Warner, cry, cry.
All right. I don't know why people are... I didn't even know David Warner was still alive. But anyway.
Wow.
Well, he seemed old in the 80s, and here it is like 40 years later.
That's fair. That's fair.
Matthew Crosby says, Ninja Rap.
All right. Stanley Wright says, ice pizza to go? To go? Sorry, I got distracted by the music. Not the best outing for the Turtles. I find myself wondering if the Foot Clan has good health insurance. Tragic. Ooh.
David Bopke, he says, I know
he's right here.
Yeah, I was about to say, why is, how did he get in here? I know some guys on a podcast. Do you want to take this and say what you said?
I don't remember what I said. Please go on.
All right. You said, I know some guys on a podcast who recorded a commentary track for this movie. Maybe someone should plug that right now.
Oh, well, I mean, if you say so, yes. So me and Paul recorded a commentary track for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, which you can become a patron at any level, $1 and up, and you will have access to that commentary track. So you just put in your DVD or your Blu-ray or your stream TMNT 2, and then get on your phone or download our MP3 of the commentary. We help you sync it up, and then you listen to our thoughts about the movie. It's not a riff tracks or MST3K. We're not that funny. It's more of like a fans just talking about the things they liked about the movie.
Kind of like what we're doing now.
Kind of like what we're doing now. Yes, but you
pay money for this version.
Yes,
Yeah.
You pay money. Exactly. And you can do that at retrorewindpodcast.com/support. Then Patrick Edwards says, Ninja pizza? Pizza that vanishes quickly without a trace. In other words, any pizza my son comes into contact with.
Mike Adams posted a gif of Mikey saying, combat cold cuts.
Yes. Jacob B. Heron says, pineapple pizza? And like sick emojis. How dare you, Jacob? It's not my favorite of the Turtle films. That goes to the original, but Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, I have fun nostalgic memories of and always enjoy rewatching. Is it a perfect film? By no means, but a wonderful, funny adventure to enjoy. Hashtag Ninja Rap.
Drew Dodgen says, go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
John Harju says, I'm looking at all the pineapple on that pizza and questioning the lack of trolls in here. No.
What is he talking about? Why are you putting comments that don't apply to the pod, especially an audio podcast?
You posted the picture of the Hawaiian, Paul. That's not my fault.
Wardell White says, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles meets The Last Electric Night. I used to love to watch the early 80s series, Disney's Sidekick starring Ernie Reyes Jr.,
Yes.
Hot from Red Sonja and Buck Rogers. Star Gil Gerard. It was a spinoff from an early TV movie, The Electric Night, when ABC hosted the Disney Sunday Movie, long before Disney owned ABC. It was fun. Well, it was fun watching little Ernie go kapow on some bad guys. I was excited when I heard he would be in this turtle movie. I found this movie a bit more fun than the original. I still can't get over Razor and Toka referring to Shredder as Mama. My goodness. Apparently, if you write 3 pages of dialogue, Francisco will want to read it in the podcast to make it longer. Let's see. Dale goes on, and so does Francisco Lettingham. It was fun to somewhat relive the magic that I once watched when I was younger, but here he would be paired with new sidekicks. I missed seeing Judith Hogue as April, but quickly fell in love with Paige Turco in the role. And, of course, Vanilla Ice. When 4 Ninja Turtles start whooping up on other mutant animals and a few feet, why not rap about it? And, of course, R.I.P. David Warner.
Indeed. Benjamin T. Van Dypen says, hey, yeah.
Nice job, Donnie.
Thanks.
Adam Cooling says, I only... Callings.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Coolings.
I added an extra O. You're welcome, Adam. Only ever saw it once at the cinema, I think, but saw the first one more times because my little brother had it on VHS. In my memory, this one was super cool and edgy because it had 2 mutant villains that worked for Shredder. and delved into, well, the secret of the ooze. I have no idea if it lives up to those vague memories, though.
Andrew Simpson says Kevin Nash played Super Shredder, apparently. Thanks, Andrew.
Dustin Warford said, my favorite of the OG trilogy, but to this day, super lame ending to the Super Shredder. Didn't even fight him. Sad face.
And James Harleman says, so disappointed after enjoying the first one so much. This and Highlander 2. Ugh. But thank you all for sharing your memories. But Dustin and James's and also Stanley's comments served us right into the things we didn't like about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. So it's time for our...
Worst 3.
Or worst 2 things in this case, of the things we didn't like about this film. And I'm going to start us off. And that would be that, like Dustin just said, I hated that Super Shredder. It was I would have loved. It's so cool seeing Super Shredder, and that he just like essentially falls on his own sword. He like is his own demise. I hated that. I mean, of all the times for Leo to pull out his actual sharp katanas, now would be that time.
Not only that, he survives a trash compactor, but a little bit of wood plank falls on him, and he's dead. Come on.
Well, it's because he's more strong. So. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I don't get it, Paul.
Yeah,
but,
Super Shredder, he lost his mind. Like, I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah,
maybe the secret is that he's weak to water, so the water just softened him up.
Or they inject it. He didn't eat it. Like he got injected with it. If you inject yourself with the ooze, it makes you big and bulky, and then you die.
Well, you got to
apparently
keep in mind
your. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, apparently... Wait.
You go.
Go ahead, so I can interrupt now, too.
Oh my gosh.
I was just going to say the ooze changes his outfit. I mean, apparently that makes that bigger, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seeps into the metal of his shredderness. Yes.
Okay, now go. Please.
Go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say my theory was because he was played by a wrestler, he got injected with too many steroids and they all hit him and that just,
that makes
blew
sense.
it out or something.
It didn't make sense, and I'm sorry if I'm stepping on somebody's dislike, but this is the first time I noticed this.
Huh.
So they take the ooze and they kidnap the scientist so he can do something with it and feed it to Toka and Razor, right?
Yeah.
And then when the turtles are fighting Toka and Razor, Shredder holds a full canister of the last ooze and says, get them. This canister never runs dry. It's never-ending ooze out of this one canister throughout the rest of the film.
It's a Hanukkah ooze.
Yeah.
It just perpetually refills.
The fact that they hold it up in the first place, here it is.
Yeah.
Come and get it.
I mean, speaking of that, what's up with when the Foot Clan go, and maybe I'm stepping on someone's just
it's
the Foot
mine.
Clan
Go ahead.
Go to TGRI or TGIFs, whatever, to get the ooze, and they get it. Why did they come back to fight the turtles? All they needed was the ooze. Just leave. I did not understand.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. And then they have to do silly football games with it.
Great sequence, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it was fun, but it just didn't make sense.
Plot-wise, the only way that makes sense is if you can think let's try stopping the turtles. Well, that's not working, so let's leave with the ooze. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense why they appear. They had the ooze. Why? What?
Exactly. Right. Yeah, they should have had the turtles get the ooze, and they had to get it from. Yeah.
Yes, that would have made more sense.
So that was your dislike as well, Paul?
No, that's my tragic maker. Is that
my gosh!
Is that the villains in this film are just incompetent? They can't do like we mentioned Shredder dying, and we mentioned the foot, and a lot of times during the fight scene, I know it's supposed to be a quote unquote kids film, but it's really hard as an adult to look at the background and just see all the Foot Clan and Shredder just standing there, and they're all moving and not fighting, and they're they can't do anything worthy of a villain that's actually good, or bad, as it needs to be.
Yeah,
true to the cartoon though.
Yes,
I suppose so.
Yeah, and that's part of the tragedy is they tried to make it for kids. I wish that they had kept with the original
the
tone,
darker, tone.
Or at least made it. I mean, they complained that this was violence. Hello, there's more violence in the Three Stooges than in this. I mean, come on.
That's why they didn't use the weapons at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Anyway.
All right, that's fair. Let's go to Kitos. What's something you didn't like about Secret of the Ooze?
So I think actually Colin mentioned this before earlier, but yeah, this one was not as as deep as I remember it being, or even as the first one, really. It's just it's a fun adventure, don't get me wrong, but the first one, or maybe it was you, Francisco, it was darker. The first one's very dark and kind of there's a lot more character development, even for Raph and stuff. Each individual has character development. This one, that didn't really occur. Overall, they're a better team and whatnot, but there's no individual character arcs for each of them, if that makes sense.
It did though. I mean, Donnie actually had that moment where he was reflecting and he talked to Splinter, and that was a good way to kind of talk, speak to that kind of a vibe.
But they never capitalized. They never sort of landed that plane. I felt like that was just put up there and then nothing came from it.
That's left over from a previous draft in which they were going to do. They were going to actually set up 3, which goes, and they were supposed to have Krang in the third. Bebop and Rocksteady were going to be in this one, and the Krang and the aliens were supposed to be in the third one, but they changed all that.
Yeah.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
overall, the movie had a lot of it still had character development. It had a lot of good stuff to it, right? Mm-hmm. When I put it up to a light against the first one, it's just not as deep.
Yeah.
But absolutely. the kids, that the audience, the target audience, they just want to see the turtles kicking butt,
No, I want deep emotional themes.
If they wanted that, they should have just released an animated feature. You get 3 episodes and make that, and put that out there if you want to reach the kids. But but as long as you don't go Michael Bay with it, you're okay.
But
amen.
Colin, it sounds like there's a lot there was a lot that you really liked, but what's something you didn't like about this film?
Yeah, so this kind of goes along with what Paul was talking about too, about the incompetent villains. Well, I mean, just dude, okay. The Foot Clan, they look like a bunch of dweebs, dude.
It's a pajama party.
Yeah, it's just mostly scrawny white dudes.
How can they pass that bell test? Right? How can any of them pass that bell test?
That's what I have in my notes, man. There's no way that they passed the bell test. No way. That was one of my favorite moments with Raph, though. That was great.
That's a good scene. But the way the payoff for that, I was like, dude, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the Foot Clan sucks, and dude, Kino is a total lock, dude. There's no ways he would wipe the floor with any of those guys. Exactly, so that's why I was yeah, you're in because everybody else here sucks.
But, forget the bell test, Kino. You're in.
Yeah, I think that may have been the point of the bell test. It's look, none of you are good, so we're gonna trade you. Type of thing.
But the guy was talking they all have to pass that test. It's
but maybe maybe Cool Deluxe is right, is that maybe they say that and then everybody fails that because they're not Bruce Lee.
So it's Kobayashi Maru is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Except Kino was Kirk. Okay, I see.
Yes, because he had a little Raph with him.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
All right, that's fair. That's totally fair, Colin. Drake was the baddies also something you disliked, or was there something else that's
well, yeah, but I could add. I thought there were parts of it where I thought it was a little bit slow and boring.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just
does one part come to mind? Because I don't really feel that, but
somewhere in the middle, I was just like, how much more of this movie have we got? It just felt even. Even Kid Tungsten said that the second movie felt a lot longer than the first one.
I think it's shorter though, isn't it? Maybe not.
Yeah, but
it feels.
He said it. Yeah, he said it seemed a lot longer.
Yeah.
He liked it better than the first one overall, but he thought it felt a lot longer, and so that was.
Yeah, could it have been the Splinter parts?
No, maybe. And I was thinking when they actually are in that junkyard or whatever, that construction site where they face Token Razor, and they go, wait, we must do the traditional intro. That was like
Donuts.
2 minutes. Like, come on,
That was
get
pretty
through
long,
this.
yeah.
So long.
Yeah.
It's still funny though.
Oh, fine. Here's donuts.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Let's get into it. Not 5
Right.
minutes later.
You're like,
Right.
why is he
Let's stay
carrying
around
that
and
big
watch it
box?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I think it was before that part. There was just some part, and I was just
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little lagging in some parts, but sure.
like, yeah.
Bobo, what sort of was lax about this movie for you?
I had a few problems with this movie, and to kind of double back on one of the points brought up earlier. Look, I can understand the Foot Clan not being that great because it is the B Squad.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, even if they don't
Aren't
pass
these
the
enough
bell
for your
test,
vengeance?
yeah, even if you got to put they can't pass the bell test, you got to put somebody on the field, right? Somebody's got to play. I can give Toka and Razor kind of a pass because I mean they're infants. Okay,
Right.
they're stupid.
Babies.
They're stupid infants. So I mean, Shredder's doing what he can with what he's got. But man, I would have liked to have seen a lot more from Super Shredder, even if he still kind of
Yes.
dies stupidly in the end.
Yeah.
Part of me that's a wrestling fan was kind of wondering if Kevin Nash just didn't want to take any more bumps, or if he just wasn't getting paid enough. He's like, look,
Oh,
I'll
is
take
Kevin
one.
Nash a wrestler? Is
Yeah.
that? Oh, okay. I didn't know why Andrew brought that. Okay, good,
yeah,
thank you.
I was wondering, like, was he paid enough to just take like one forward slow bump, but I'm not going
You got
back
me
for
for a day.
anything? Or yeah, like hey, you want me to bump? That's another man. Come on, like I don't know part of it or what, but I mean, the catch was Vinny Vegas in WCW, I think. So he probably just did the money when he took the job. So, but whatever. I mean,
okay.
like I said, Super Shredder and Against the Turtles could have been so much more. And even if you wanted to make the third movie, like, okay, Super Shredder supposedly dies, and then in the third movie he comes back like Jason Voorhees or something. Like, he just never gets killed off. And then the third movie's a
I think a
horror
lot of people
movie
would
or
be
something.
happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where you go from there, but, it's something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they made
End
the
of
Shredder
point.
fight. That's what I will say about the first movie too. I really like the first movie, but the ending with Shredder, it really felt like
That
they
was
were
really good.
outmatched.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
yes,
now
yes,
that he's
yes.
Super Shredder, I actually I haven't seen this in seriously like 20 years. I was like, oh, I'm excited for the Super Shredder, and then he just falls under a pier. It's like, okay, guys,
Yeah.
But
Apparently, splinters were his weakness.
ooh,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
He died.
Did you
Wait,
just come
no.
up with that, Paul, or did you hear
Yeah.
that somewhere else?
No, just
Wow, that's impressive.
one.
I'm gonna just give it up. That's
good night, everybody.
Yeah.
The show's not getting
Show
better
on
from
that.
here, at least from me.
All right. But Paul, I know
Yeah.
you gave us your Tragic Maker.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us something that you just generally disliked about TMNT 2?
From the beginning fight, some of the sound effects were a little bit of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon boink zoink
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I brought this up before. If you're going to use that, it just conveys that it's not to be taken seriously. And if I'm
Yeah.
not going to take this film seriously, then it's going to go down a notch.
Mhm.
Like, so
Speaking to what I think one of you said, do you feel like that bothered you as a kid, all those sounds at all? Or
I didn't notice. This is as an adult watching.
That's what I figured, but I was just curious if
Yeah.
maybe they would.
And
Do you
plus,
know?
now I watch it as an adult with headphones, so I can get that full sound in my ears, and I really hear when it's great, and when it's bad, it's like, oh, cringeworthy.
Gotcha. So my kids didn't mention anything about that when we watched it.
Yeah. I wouldn't
Did
have
Kid
noticed.
Tungsten mention anything about the sounds being bothersome or annoying?
I remember laughing at one of them, actually.
All right.
I don't remember which one it
Yeah.
was, but I remember laughing. So yeah, I think we thought it was funny.
Okay. Cool.
honestly, yeah,
Awesome.
that's kind of how I felt about the sound and everything too. It didn't bother me at all because I think I just kind of went into this film like with no expectations and just to watch it and be like kind of revisit it, and be like, okay, this was for kids and I enjoyed it when I was a kid. So
maybe one of the things that hurts this film is the first one because people compare it.
Yeah, I could see
Mhm.
that. Yes.
Shouldn't have made the first one.
Yeah, you should have made it. Why did they do that? Dumb.
I still think the third one would have sucked if it was the only one.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we would all collectively say the third one is a tragic maker, but let's get to the tragic makers for this film.
But it makes this film look better.
Yes, okay.
True.
So Paul gave us his already, the dumb bad guys. Kitos, what was your tragic maker for Secret of the Ooze?
My tragic maker had to be that Bebop and Rocksteady were not in.
Oh my
there.
gosh!
Yeah.
I played the video games. I watched the cartoons.
Yeah.
Like,
You were invested. Where's the payoff?
Okay, as a kid watching this movie, I was expecting them to be in it, right?
Yeah.
And when they weren't, I was so disappointed. Watching it again, I felt the same disappointment.
Oh wow!
And I was like, no. Oh, I can't believe they ruined it.
Some
I
moons
actually had
never
that same
heal.
reaction because I completely forgot. And I
Oh,
thought, oh,
really?
great, they're going to be in it. And then they weren't in it.
Oh.
I was like, so I literally got that same thing because I completely forgot.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It was pain. It was pain. It was just as painful again.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Out of curiosity, did you see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows?
What's that?
That's the second Michael Bay movie.
No, I haven't seen any of the Michael Bay ones.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything after 2.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen the third one?
I haven't even seen that one. I will, though, because I do have it, because I got the disc with 3 of them.
Don't.
I want to see that one.
I saw the third one when I was a kid in the theater, and I walked out being like, "What the heck is this stuff?
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?"
Yes. Wow.
Who invited Chuck E. Cheese to make the people?
Wow. Okay, Kizo. So yeah,
not having Rocksteady in.
Yeah, not having Roxanne Bebop. And
yeah.
Drake, was that also yours? Because you had that they weren't there too, or is there something else?
Well,
Was your
that wasn't. I was going to use my tragic maker as sort of a, not really the fault of the movie, but in memory of Jim Henson, and right at the beginning.
I hate that he died. Jeez,
yeah, exactly. That was kind of a tragedy to me at the time.
Yeah.
When he did die, I mean, I remember that. I was really sad.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah, Francisco. Jeez.
Yeah, Francisco, why did you kill Jim Henson? God.
Yeah.
Why do you hate dead people like David Warner? Oh, wait, that's me. Sorry.
You thought he was already dead. Let's go to Colin next. What was your tragic maker for this film?
Man, y'all are going to kill me on this.
No.
You're going to kill me on this.
I'm going to kill you like I killed Jim Henson.
Not as good as the third movie.
I didn't, dude. Okay. So the movie was kind of clipping along at a good pace, and it's actually, man, it was pretty darn good, actually. And then it kind of comes to a screeching halt when they go to the Vanilla Ice concert.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And,
All right, where's the eject button?
Y'all, I even remember kind of even as a kid, too, that same feeling like, okay, this has got to be over. And because, yeah, they were doing all the awesome kung fu fighting and everything like that. And then they started doing the coordinated dancing in the middle.
I didn't get why they're dancing. That didn't make sense to me.
Why not? They were dancing before. Ninjitsu.
But they already had everything prepared, and it's just that was a little even far-fetched for this kind of a movie, even for me as a kid and everything. So I was like, come on, y'all. Like, Vanilla Ice is cool, but you don't have this prepared. Like, we have stuff to take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
I can see that. I can see that.
Sorry, Colin, I like you, but
the Vanilla, I know. The Ninja Rap is still awesome, but
Just
wait. I'm getting mixed signals here.
The song itself is great, but that sequence is sort of like just a let's do now for something completely different.
Yeah, it needed to ramp up and into an epic fight with Super Shredder, and then that would have been sick. But instead, it was like, let's get on stage and wave when we were supposed to. When Splinter told us explicitly, "Don't be seen,"
right?
And then, hey, everybody, and then Splinter's like, idiots,
Yes.
So anyway,
related
they're
to
kids, they're teens,
Yeah, related to that scene though, I didn't understand. Kino was like, "I gotta help the guys," and he goes. And he kicks the ooze out of Shredder's hand. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it was a good idea that you went and was there. But then what happened? I forget what happened.
Then he chickens out and is like, "Yeah, I shouldn't get involved. A rat told me that."
I don't know why, because it seemed like
he was doing good, and then he's like, "Never mind."
It would have made sense if like Shredder. See, this is what would have been better. He goes to kick. Yeah, Francisco's Fabulous fan fiction is fabulous.
Right.
To make that whole sequence with him with Splinter training Kino pay off better, and Kino to learn his lesson is he goes up, he runs all gung ho, and does his like spinning kick that works on everyone else. But then Shredder just like a boss because he is the boss. Just grabs his foot and like slams him down and like.
Sends him into a coma. Yeah.
Yeah, as you do. As
something for the kids.
Exactly.
Look, kids.
Learn this lesson, kids.
Don't kick strangers.
Yeah, they have that sign in their lair that says "recycle, dudes," and then also it's you're gonna get put in a coma by the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that would not the coma part, but I think that would work better. And then he was maybe a hostage for Shredder, and then they had to get him away. I feel like that would work better. It's been more complicated, but what they did just seemed contrived. Yeah. Anyway,
it's very contrived.
Well,
so
yes.
I'll agree with you on that, Colin.
Okay. Oh yeah.
What if the ooze landed on somebody or it broke?
Oh, that would have been interesting.
What if the ooze landed on Vanilla Ice?
Whoa.
No, let's not go there.
He would become Iceman.
No, he becomes Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Anyway, let's go to we'll go to Bobo next. What is your tragic maker? And then I'll close.
If it's Vanilla Ice, he probably would have turned into Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin.
Oh, that's good too. That's good too.
Anyway, the not Bebop, not Rocksteady thing bugged me a lot, but this, the more I think about it, the more this bothers me. Look, I get that this is a fantasy situation here. We have a mutant rat. We have gigantic turtles who know ninjitsu, and yet the most unbelievable part of the movie to me is after these turtles crash through a wall and we got these big mutant guys brawling in the back of the building, Vanilla Ice hears a beat start and he's like, I'm feeling a beat here. Yeah, I'm going to get a rap started. No, you're not.
I'm going to freestyle this song.
You are running for your life, sir. You are fleeing. You are calling the police. You're not thinking, I'm going to start rapping. And all these people who are in danger right now are going to hang out and go, Ice, that's awesome.
But Bobo, you don't understand. He was listening to a Van Halen song just the night before and needed to rip a new section out, and so that's how.
They should have done that before
I'm a Bill and Ted fan.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my god. For those that don't, wasn't it Van Halen that he took the segment for his popular
Queen.
Queen. It's Queen. Thank you. That is Queen. All right, my bad. Yeah. Okay, so my joke didn't deserve to land. All right, I will take full responsibility.
Another Edna mode for you.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not Edna moding that out. That's staying press.
That stays in the pod.
So you're not sorry.
That was Queen /
Freddie Mercury?
David Bowie.
David Bowie, thank you.
David Bowie, yeah.
Elton John. Anyway,
David Bowie.
The Goblin King.
Yeah, it does not make sense, Bobo, how he could just like spur of the moment go. I mean, maybe there are some people that are talented enough to do that. I don't
think talent has anything to do with it. It's just
no, clearly not.
It's a total oblivious to the rest of the world of what's really going on.
All right, fine, guys. Well,
I don't know about you guys, but when about the whole police thing, right? When they're like, call the
police. That's what we do best.
Right? And then, then
no,
the
they like it. They like it.
That part, I was like, what?
Laughter
with the manager of the club or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they like it. What are you doing, calling the police? How dare you? It's like
that was good.
I like that,
funny.
Dude. The assistant actually. I saw in the end credits, the assistant is actually Mikey's puppeteer, and he's like the lead puppeteer guy.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Apparently. Yeah, the guy with the little ponytail. Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, from the credits. So
love those cameos.
Yeah. It's neat.
But what I loved least about this film, my tragic maker, was, and we've talked about some of it before, but I really dislike that. I forget, and I'm gonna get these people's names wrong, but April from the first one was recast. I really appreciated the first actress. It was in Dale's comment. Her name.
Yeah.
Judith Hogue. Yes, Judith Hogue. I don't like that Casey Jones wasn't in this one. I don't like that. And I really don't like, being a Donatello fan, Team Donnie, I really don't like that Corey Feldman didn't reprise his role in this one. For
yeah, Corey. Sorry you were in rehab trying to better yourself.
Should have gotten Corey Haim.
Yeah.
Oh no, what they should have just done was gotten the voice from the cartoon. Just get that guy to do the voice of this one. I think that would have been great.
You know what I was thinking, Francisco, about a quarter of the way in, is that Corey Feldman, because he did the first and the third, he should re-record the lines for the second.
Yes.
And then like put that over. But then by the middle of the film, I was actually enjoying the voice performance of Donnie. He had a lot of range, and I thought he did it in some ways much better job than Corey. But Corey is so iconic that
exactly. Yeah. I will say that that the actor, I'm trying to pull him up here, who did do Donnie, does sound more like how I would have expected Donnie to sound, like more of sort of this nerdy quality to his voice.
Can I push back a little bit?
Yes.
Sure. So I loved Donnie's voice. That's actually what made Donnie my favorite in the movie, was the way that he carried himself. He was almost like the leader of the team in a way. He was the smartest. He was the one that was kind of asking the questions, and he wasn't like a nerd, you know. I love nerdy Donnie, but they actually, like, there are parts where he's in the apartment, he's like putting on cologne or something like that, you know, but then he's still like playing with gadgets, and he's trying to figure out everything like that. So anyway, I thought the voice performance and everything was really good. So,
all right, great. And
Francisco,
I'm not quite sure if this is right, but it looks like Leif Tilden played Donatello, but I don't know if that was like in the suit or the voice
animatronic
or this. Yeah, exactly. He also played Foot Number 3 for those that are curious.
Then he was probably in the suit.
If you're going to re-record voices, you should get the original OG cartoon voices to redub the whole movie.
Yes, do that.
Get all the iterations together and do the movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rob Paulson, get on it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Or Donnie.
Yes. It's Rob.
Yes.
Dang it, I was going for it to be wrong. Darn it. So I usually said Ron Paulson, right?
You got it wrong, right?
Dang
wrong.
it.
Wrong. You got it wrong.
I love all the voice acting in the Nick show. Have you seen the Nickelodeon
Yes, that's
show?
good too. Yeah.
That's a great show.
You could get Sean Astin, Ron Paulson.
Yep. Is Seth Green? Is Seth Green Leo?
He is in the later seasons, I think. They recast him.
That's right.
The original Leo voice. And then I forget who is Mikey. But anyway.
Mikey's great.
That's neither here nor there. Now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, you have a firing solution for us.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo at the ready.
There it is. The salvo authority right there. You got it? Get your salvo authority, folks.
No idea what that
Salvo at the ready. She says
that's not what she said.
Salvo at the ready. Do you want me to play it again?
No, that's what the rewind button's for the listeners if they want to hear it again.
They don't want to hear it again.
Yeah, moving on.
Do we rate, for the moment of truth, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, a classic? We'd recommend anyone go and see this movie, whether or not you've seen it before. A nostalgic, it's worth your time to revisit if you enjoyed it as a kid, you're a young adult. It's worth your time to revisit. But if you've never seen it before, pass, go to something else. Or is it a tragic? We'd recommend no one go see this film, whether or not you've seen it before. And if you've seen it before, don't sully those memories with a rewatch. So let's start with Colin. You had predicted nostalgic. What was your final rating for TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze?
Yeah, so as I was watching the movie, I was just kind of enamored by it. You know, again, the puppeteers, the humor, the kung fu, like all that kind of stuff, and the nostalgic, good nostalgic vibe. Yeah. And I was like, this is actually really like well made. And I was like, is this a classic? I was like, is this a classic? Because I was really enjoying it. And But then the Iceman came in. I was like,
you're so close, movie.
Yeah, the last 15 minutes, it just fell off the rails. And I'm like, no, we can't. So I'm going to stick to nostalgic on that one.
Nostalgic. All right.
Yeah.
Totally get that. Drake, how about you? You also predicted nostalgic?
This one, yeah, nostalgic.
Nostalgic?
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yep.
Bobo, how about you? Also predicting nostalgic.
Yeah, watching this again, there's so many questions that I had throughout the movie. Like when Don kisses the mop, I'm like, he just kissed a mop.
Yeah.
And
it's not a clean one.
Yeah, there's no comedy there. It's just like, okay, he's pretending.
Hey, keep your anti-mops comments to yourself.
I'm very pro mop.
Mops too.
Hey,
mop says he was 8 years old.
Yeah. Some people have dirty minds, okay?
Other people have dirty mops. It's something.
And some people have dirty ooze canisters, like Splinter. Like, he kept that ooze canister for how long, and no parts of it broke off. Where was he keeping that? What about when they moved?
In his robe.
I didn't get that.
Pocket.
I don't want to know.
All this stuff. How does Donnie type on the keyboard with big fingers like he's got? He's got to be hitting 4 keys at a time. There's all this stuff.
He hunts and pecks.
I just didn't understand. I mean, even so, he's still hitting 4 or 5 buttons a time. He's got to be.
Well, okay, I said the costumes help turn your brain off, but not enough.
Not nearly enough.
Don't they know how to use chopsticks? Maybe use chopsticks.
Oh, good point.
But he didn't.
He didn't have any Well, anyway. But despite all of the issues like that, all the nitpicks, it's still fun. And I think as a kid, I definitely appreciated a lot of things more than I do now, and I don't want to consider that. But even as an adult, I would say it's still nostalgic. It's still relatively fun to go back and enjoy. So, yeah, I can't say it's a classic at all, but it's definitely not tragic.
All right, so the nostalgic then?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let's go to Kitos next. So you were the sole person to have predicted classic. Did it end up being classic?
Yeah, so this one was hard. As I was watching it, I was going back and forth and whether it was a classic or a nostalgic. And honestly, in the end, thinking about it, if someone was to ask me, I've never seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all, right? Should I watch this movie? I would tell them, no, go watch the first one, then come watch this one. So to me, honestly, eventually watch it. And I would say this is a classic, and it will become more of a classic the more Vanilla Ice fades from pop culture existence and reference. So the point where you can just appreciate the song.
Okay. So,
but overall, again, I agree with Colin.
The
the movie is just so good in so many ways, and I was smiling the entire time I watched it.
Aww.
So I have to say it's a classic.
Classic. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I mean, I totally hear you. And let me be clear, Vanilla Ice, I'm Team Vanilla Ice. I don't mind it. But hey, just that part is where it kind of like, all right, like this is getting to be a bit much, y'all.
Yeah.
So,
totally.
yeah.
Awesome.
For me, just overall, I'm gonna rate it a classic.
Nice.
Classic?
Sweet.
All right. Paul, how about you?
When watching this movie, the nostalgic feelings were crushing so hard. I was enjoying the silliness and everything, but I certainly would not recommend it to people who've never seen it. But if you have enjoyed it, I would recommend it. So I'm in the nostalgic lane.
Nostalgic as well. And I'm just going to come right out. Nostalgic for me too. I definitely think it's worth your time to revisit it if you enjoyed it as a kid or young adult. It's by no means will be a waste of your time to rewatch it, except unless like Drake, you had remembered it having Rocksteady and Bebop, or were looking forward to that, and then it wasn't. Then I could see that being a frustration. But on the whole, as the years have gone by, I've appreciated Toka and Razor. I even love that they're in the Shredder's Revenge game.
Yeah,
I think that's excellent. So I think they've found a fan base, I'll say. But the movie, of its own accord, definitely nostalgic for me. So we're pretty much predictions lined up completely to the final reigns, which for the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, a slightly disputed nostalgic film. We'd recommend anyone go and see it. We'd recommend only people who have seen it before to watch it again. But if you've never seen it before, don't take the time to watch it. But now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
20XX?
I was like, whoa, it's not happening. Oh my gosh, it's a first.
Francisco.
Oh, yes.
Can I ask you, just real quick? So you said you watched it with your kids?
Yeah.
For the first time?
Mm-hmm.
So what was their reaction to it? Since it's like from 1990, and were they into it? Or
they seem to... With them, they never want to watch movies from when I was a kid, but they're always like, no, But after we actually start watching it, my daughter will usually always get into it. My son has...
So is that after you hog tie them and duct tape them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, Paul. They can't go anywhere. My son will... I feel like it's harder for him. He likes it, but he can only absorb so much of a movie, and this happens with most movies. He'll have to stop halfway through. So we did that. Then we came back to the next night, and he enjoyed how it finished, and they enjoyed it.
Cool.
Oh, so they're
it holds
like
up for kids.
Yeah. I'd say definitely worth watching with your kids.
So
and they're 10 and 7, so that if that helps with narrow it down for you guys. Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, we're back.
Colin
it's good
was
to be back.
asking if he could ask you a question. That's where we were.
Thank you, Paul. He asked the question.
All right.
Proceed now
That's where we're at.
to say it feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1991 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflex capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating, Patrick Hicks, Chris Cowan, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Casson, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronenberg, Pastor Dewson, Kenneth N., Redeemed Otaku, That's Our Baba. Oh, he's right here. Josh Shams, D. Tungsten. Oh, he's here too. Woohoo! Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Dapper Man Reviews, Tony from the Retro Days, Mr. Lost, Gerald Hafner, Rosie, in addition to 7 other awesome patrons as well, some of whom might also be right here. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming, and if you want to help us keep flying for as low as $1 a month or get bonus content for your generosity, like maybe a TMNT2 commentary track, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
This stream sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
All right. And while we're thanking people, we also want to give a big ninja hug to our guests for supporting us with their thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. We'll go alphabetically, so that means Bobo goes first. So, Bobo, how can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on?
Don't and no. Yeah,
excellent.
I know. I'm out there.
So glad we could be here.
I'm at That's Our Bobo on Twitter. I don't tweet anything. I'm on Facebook. I don't do anything there either.
You don't face your book there?
Not really. I keep my face hidden. And I am sort of a guest booker on a podcast called Couch Pilots coming up soon. I'll be doing like 10 episodes.
Cool.
So, like I said, guest booking. I don't know that I'm actually doing anything beyond that, really, but not family friendly. So nobody here will listen to it. But there you go. If you like unfamily friendly streams about TV shows that had a pilot and never went anywhere.
Oh, really?
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
stay away from Bobo, folks. All right. Thank you for coming by. All right. Next is we'll go to Colin Schlicht. Thank you so much for joining us. And where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on? I mean, Colin, you always have cool stuff going on. So what's up?
You bet, man. Yeah, you can find me at artbycolin.com. That's my website. Full portfolio. Lots of pop culture, design, illustration stuff on there. You can buy prints and stickers and pins and posters and all that jazz at artbycolin.bigcartel.com. That's Colin with 2 L's. You can collab with me on a project at artbycolin.com/connect. Follow me on Instagram at artbycolin. And then I've got a couple Gallery 1988 shows. It's a great gallery out of California, LA.
Yes.
And there's a show coming up called Idiot Box, and it's basically like an homage to Golden Age of TV. So it's like 2000s and I'm doing portraits of Daredevil for that one.
Nice.
Cool.
And I'm stoked on those. And then the Crazy for Cult show that's coming up, that's honoring classic and cult classic films. I'm doing a movie poster for the Batman. And then I've got artwork with metal band August Burns Red. They're my favorite band.
Oh,
And
yes.
so I'm doing official artwork with them.
That's amazing.
And
That's so
which
cool.
is really sweet. And dude, let's see. Portrait of X is an ongoing X-Men series, Deluxe Night
Yes.
Batman. So I'm always working on stuff. So
Yeah, I knew you always
yeah.
got cool things going on.
I'm curious. Do you? I feel like you have some TMNT illustrations. Am I misremembering that, or
no, I've got a couple.
Okay,
But
that's
I'd like to make a bigger, more elaborate one later on down the road, possibly for Gallery 1988. But we'll see. We'll
Fantastic.
get there.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right. And next on the alphabetical list is Drake Tugson. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on?
I have a website with its kind of a funny name, ASSEND.net.
Okay.
You can go
Ascend.
there if you want to see. I got a blog there.
Nice.
And I've been posting the episodes of DS9 as I've been going through them, but I haven't gone through them in a while, so there isn't anything super new there. But
What life
I will
gets
get
in the
back
way?
to it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it does.
No, so this is a good time for folks to catch up on that.
Oh,
Yes.
good point. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Drake.
And Cool Deluxe, where can people find you online, or is there anything cool you got going on?
Not this time around, nothing cool, but maybe next time. But people can find me at my Twitter. It's at Cool Deluxe, QOOLDELUXX. And that's about it. Pretty
Very
light on
cool.
social media.
Okay. What? Oh my gosh. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bobo, Colin, Drake, Kitos, and of course Paul, for being on the show. Thank you so much to Paul, like I said, Paul, and all you rewinders, new or old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at pauljpowers.com.
Ah, I should have guessed that.
Yes.
And you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And as the disembodied voice just said, we are now part of Culture Box Media, the network. There you can find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media. And with that, Captain, we are on final approach to a new base under the ground of the sewer with an abandoned train.
Yeah, abandoned train. Yeah,
Sure.
that makes sense.
Sweet looking, by the way.
Yeah, oh, that was amazing.
Totally. Though it looked like there was light coming in from the stained glass at the top, and I didn't understand because they're in subterranean. So,
Yeah,
Or it's
sweet
electric
looking.
light.
what? I heard two things.
One was sweet, the other one was electric.
All right. Thank
Sweet
you,
electric.
XO. You sweet XO.
You're
And
welcome.
Thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for the next episode of not 51st Dates, The Wedding Singer.
Oh.
Our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
And remember, go ninja, go ninja, go! I made another funny!
That reminds me of the time when Serenity went go on Firefly.
Ship like this, be with you to the day you die.
Retro. Because
it's a death trap.
The pod of rewind.
pretty cunning, don't you think?
They were robbed of time, young Indy made them poor. Burnt out on dullness, what was it all for? With Firefly now, what reviews will they find? The hero of time, retro of rewind.
We gotta go to the crappy town where I'm a hero.
Alrighty, we are back for another view of Firefly. We're going episode by episode, making our way to our Christmas episode this year, where we're going to cover the movie Serenity. Paul, what episode are we covering this time?
This time we're reviewing episode 8, titled Out of Gas. It was released. It aired on October 25th, 2002. Do you have a one-sentence plot synopsis for this episode, Captain?
Yes, there is an explosion on the ship that causes life support to go out. So Mal has everyone leave as he tries to stay because they sent out a beacon that can hopefully get someone to help them. And then he gets shot and has to somehow fix the ship after that.
I love my captain.
Indeed. So let's go around and say what we liked most about this episode, what we liked least, and also who our favorite character was or who we connected with the most this time. So let's start with that. The classic makers, as you might say, for Out of Gas. Drake, let's start with you. What did you like most about this episode?
Oh, what did I like most about it?
And also, have you seen Firefly before, or is this your first time?
Yeah, no, I've seen it before.
Okay.
I actually hadn't watched the Blu-ray that I got. I saw almost every episode. I kind of binged them just before the movie came out because they were airing on Sci-Fi at that time.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I was about to say, you saw them when they aired. That's a good trick because that was hard to do. But on Sci-Fi,
no, I tried to see them when they aired originally, and then the show was canceled.
Yeah.
Literally, like I went, oh, that show looks neat. I'm gonna go watch it next week, and it was done.
There you go.
Thanks, Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So wait, what was your favorite thing about the show?
Okay, so my favorite thing about the show,
this episode, I mean.
Yeah, I mean this episode. Sorry, yes, was well. Maybe I should do all that then.
That line, yeah.
I love that because I was thinking as an engineer myself, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's brilliant. You know, where they will force them to stop to
yeah.
And I was like, that's brilliant. And then he goes, well, maybe I should do that then. And I was just like, yes.
It's almost like not giving up your anger high ground, but still capitulating to the better answer. Yes, exactly.
I think I've got the quote here. He was going on a bit, and then Watch says, it boosts the signal, but even if some passerby did happen to receive, all it do is muck up their navigation. Mal says, could be that's true. Watch says, darn right it's true. They'd be forced to stop and dig out our signal before they could go anyplace.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should do that then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was my classic maker too, was that line.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of good
wow.
Well, it was pretty classic.
That was terrific.
Absolutely. Kijos, how about you? What did you like most?
My classic maker had to be Mal in this one. Just the way he handles himself as the captain, right? He's good in other episodes, don't get me wrong, but in this episode specifically, he really takes the cake of caring about his crew, his ship,
absolutely,
and why he's doing it. And I love that they have it on the background of all the memories of him getting the ship and everything.
Yes, and all the crew. Yes,
I think that really speaks to why he cares so much. I love his character in this episode.
Yeah, and all the flashbacks, all seeing how all the crew sort of got on there, seeing how Zoe at first didn't like Wash, and then they end up married, and Kaylee wasn't originally the engineer. And Jane was on trying to get them for a bounty, but then switched sides. Just all these little moments leading up to the very end when you saw how Mal chose Serenity. I loved all those elements. Yeah, it did. It did. And I thought they interweaved it with what was going on, and they sort of did this it started in this present, then they backtrack, and then they go then they flashback, and they sort of like you finally met up to that point at the very start, and then it went on. I loved how they achieved that.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Yes.
I was confused. I was like, wait, is everyone like having dinner while he's like suffering down below? Like, there were some confusing transitions that I didn't think worked well at all. But,
okay. I picked up on it, but that's fair. I guess it could be confusing too.
That was mine too.
Oh, that was your tragic maker?
Yeah, that was the exact same thing. I was like, there were a few transitions that weren't good, and I thought, maybe they should have only done the flashbacks and the part with the present stuff, had all the the quote unquote present stuff flow kind of linearly, or maybe just show like the initial bit and then not be cutting back and forth.
Yeah, it is weird. I do enjoy the flashbacks. It's like an origin episode tied in.
Yeah, the flashbacks were great.
Yeah.
It was just the kind of flashback, and then it's like, okay, is this... But you could tell it was flashing back because they did that weird with transitions, but you couldn't tell when they were flashing back to like, an hour ago versus, versus, okay, so is he now dying or now are they having dinner?
Right.
It's confusing, like you said. Same thing. I was just like, wait, what?
Bob or Akitos, were you confused by that?
At first, go ahead. Go ahead, Baba.
I was going to say, actually, I thought the transitions were pretty good. I was just trying to think of a show where I thought the transitions between current time and flashbacks were really bad. And what's coming to mind was a Gilbert Gottfried show called Norman's Corner. Don't ever watch it.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought the transitions were all right. It could have been a little bit better because there were a couple spots where I had to kind of catch, oh, this is a flashback. Okay. So,
yeah, I may struggle real quick before Kito's comments. I may struggle with just having seen it so much. I know exactly what's going. Like I know where I am. It's like I'm in my home. I know where I am in my home. I know where the living room is. I know what the kitchen is. All that. But so maybe that for me. Kitos, what were you gonna say about it?
It's been a while since I've watched this episode. So it was a bit jarring at first when they were transitioning. But I think they did a really good job on the cues of letting you know, like it transitioned if you like looked at it, because like the coloring of the scenes was different between the three different time periods.
Not different.
Yeah, it was.
And so I had to like really, I don't know, I had to pick up on it, right, to really understand. Once I did that, it wasn't too bad, but at first it was jarring.
I don't like picking up anything. Feed me, spoon feed me. Come on.
Yes.
I don't want the spiritual meat. I just want milk for the rest of my life.
No, you can give me the meat. I just want it spoon fed.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
So Paul and D Tungsten Tragic Maker. So we did Classic Maker.
No, that's not my Tragic Maker.
That's my Tragic Maker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, what was your Tragic Maker? I think everyone did their Classic Makers, right? Am I totally?
No, I didn't give my like.
Oh, okay. What was yours?
Yeah.
What did you love most?
I really, I did say the flashbacks. I thought.
Yeah. Okay. That's
cool.
what I thought you were. Okay.
But,
that's why I got confused. Yeah.
I was actually taken back. There were some scenes that I was like tensing up, like, this is getting intense. And so to actually make me feel that they did a good job. I mean, it wasn't like that throughout the whole episode, but there were moments and I was like, oh, wow.
That's awesome. Yeah. Do you remember one in particular? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Mal's dying. I don't remember nothing. There's not a particular scene that stands out better than others, but there were I just remember going, okay, lighten up. It's just a TV show.
Okay. Nice. Very cool. All right. Well, let's go around and do our Tragic Makers now, though Drake did his. Kitos, what did you hate most about this episode?
So for me, most of the in fact, all the episode was great, right?
Wait, let me guess. There wasn't enough of people trying to get papers through bureaucracy to the next bureaucratic department. You just missed that.
You can bring that up all you want, but that was funny. Okay, at least that was funny.
I was about to say you're probably not wrong, but
wow, That's a deep cut for our fans. Yes.
Yeah. So no, the tragic maker for me for this episode wasn't actually like any particular thing in the episode, but it's the fact that just watching it in the context of the rest of Firefly, I can't help but feel like this is a filler episode. Like they created it to fill.
Yeah, it can come at any point. Yeah.
It doesn't really tie into anything before or after it.
There's no Hands of Blue. Come on, move the story forward.
I think it does a bit more than that by giving you sort of emotional grounding and how these characters came together and hearing about their backstories.
Save that for the first episode then.
No, people are going to get bored with that. If you don't care about these characters, you're not going to care about where they came from. You have to have some emotional investment in them first, and then you care about where they came from.
If anything, it seems as though this episode was created at a time when I think the showrunners were like, you know what, this might not succeed. We might not get another season, so we better explain some of these characters like backstories.
I could see that.
So it seems like an episode that's just there for a functional purpose, either to fill time or to fill the fact that they're not going to have any more episodes. And so that like detracts from the episode for me.
I also am pretty sure that Gina Torres, who plays Zoe, was like on her honeymoon at this point with Lawrence Fishburne, and that's why she's not in it very much.
Cowboy Curtis?
Yeah.
Yes, Cowboy Curtis. Oh my god.
I gotta write some fanfic.
Wow. I'm pretty sure they're still together, but I think that's why she's in it the least. She's sort of just dead not dead, but unconscious.
In a coma.
But that's a good point. I don't know about the other parts of it, Kitos. So okay, but that's the thing you like the least. Paul, what did you like the least about this episode?
So there's a bunch of guys, we'll call it bad guys, who come in and take over the ship with guns, and Mal finds a little pistol and is able to get them all off the ship. Oh, that's convenient.
Well, why wouldn't they have a pistol on the mule? That's where he got it, I think.
No, but they have guns too.
Yeah, but
so
why
there's a group of them, so the people in the back could just reach over the shoulder and blam, it's done.
I think I don't think anyone's behind him at that point.
They are. As they're exiting, they're all grouped up.
Exactly. I don't think anyone's behind him.
No,
so
they're behind each other. The people in the back of there's people with guns between him and them, and they could shoot him and take him out.
Okay, but the chance of any of them dying is possible, and over a little converter thing, why risk your life?
They're going to take the ship.
Because it's a second. You're dead.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The first one who shoots wins.
Well, the problem is it's because Mal has it pointed at the captain, and they all followed the captain.
That's true. That's another thing. Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. I didn't find it believable because I would have acted differently, so I didn't like it.
All right.
If their captain is the best shot, and he didn't even kill Mal at point blank range, I mean, what chance do they have?
Yeah, they're a bunch of idiots.
All right, that's fair.
This stick goes boom.
Baba, what was your tragic maker for this episode?
Real quick, I forgot to mention in that one flashback, Wash had a mustache. That was amazing. But anyway,
that was.
I just forgot to mention that. But okay, least favorite moment of the entire series is in this episode.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
It's the mustache on Wash.
It's no. Almost no. It's that original engineer that Kaylee is messing around with.
Yes.
I don't buy Kaylee being with that guy in the slightest bit.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, the fact that she's messing around with a guy like that, let alone tolerating him, I don't understand, and that feels like a fan fiction thing that I would just kind of dismiss as like, whatever, that's your own little fantasy. This is canon. This is in the show. Mm-hmm. And I don't totally get the whole Kaylee Simon thing either, but at least
Yeah.
You kind of get Simon's smart. He's a doctor, and that's
maybe for her, it's all about the looks. Like that guy and Simon both have just that right checking of all the boxes of looks.
I mean, I'm latching on to any reason she would hook up with that guy, so I'll go with that.
I have my own headcanon of that. If you want to hear mine,
sure. Let's hear your fanfic. Joss Whedon gave us his.
Yeah. Well, I think they drop hints in the show as to why she's actually with that guy, right? Because they drop hint one is she's never been in like a ship of this nature, even though she knows all about engines and everything, right? She's never actually been up in a working ship, right? So, one hint is that, and two, the other hint is, he's an engineer and he can get her access to the engine, and engines make her hot, they say. Yeah. So the idea, I think, is more so, hey, this guy is attracted to me, but he's also gonna give me a chance to, be on one of these engines so I can enjoy it. So,
I don't think
so it's more about what he's got than himself.
Exactly. It's the access that he's providing.
I don't think engines make her hot, now that you point it out, because if the engine was in trouble and she's like, oh, what's going to happen to Zoe? She cares more about Zoe than the engines. If that was Scotty from Star Trek, let Zoe die. He's up in the engine trying to fix it because he's all about the engines. So if she was all about the engines. Yeah,
if you ever stood next to an engine, you get very hot indeed.
That's true.
I'm just that's the two hints that the show dropped that I noticed, so I'm just kind of going off of that.
Okay, I can kind of buy that.
Yeah.
That at least gives some credence to it, because I thought the same thing. It's like, that's kind of a weird relationship they got there. And then I had to figure out in my own head, like, how did that happen?
And then ultimately she ends up taking his job and she doesn't seem to care anything about him. So
Yeah. It's kind of odd, but I will say there is something off about that whole scene. I agree with you on that.
I could see that. Yeah.
I think it detracts from her character, especially how they set her up in the rest of the show. It's kind of weird. She doesn't really have that. And then all of a sudden she has that character personality. It's strange.
Yeah.
I could see that. That's a good point, guys. I guess that leaves me. My tragic maker for this episode. I don't know if I really have one, because this is honestly my favorate episode of the series.
When the credits appear.
Yeah.
Here we are ripping on it.
That's fine. I totally can see what you guys, the problems you guys, the issues you guys have with it. They didn't really affect me at all.
Like, I don't care. It's my favorite episode.
Exactly. That's right.
The problem is there aren't more of them.
Though, I mean, that sense that it is a filler episode, it could happen anywhere. That is a good point. Like, it doesn't really tie in with anything anywhere. I guess. I don't know. I can't think of a thing that I don't like about it. I like pretty much the whole thing. So I guess my classic maker is, there aren't more episodes like this that I can just be like, there's nothing wrong with it. So
a show about nothing.
Oh my gosh, it's not Seinfeld. Oh, did I say classic maker? I mean tragic maker. Anyway, what character did you relate to the most? For me, probably just Mal. I think Kitos, that was his classic maker. So
I wouldn't say I relate to Mal. I wish I would like to believe I relate to Mal, but I don't think I do.
Who do you relate to? I liked his character the most. Yeah.
Probably either the pilot or his second in command. Sorry, Wash or
Zoe.
Zoe, yeah. I always forget their names.
No worries.
I love them. Don't get me wrong. I just always forget names.
Yeah,
no worries. It's okay, Joe. Paul, how about you?
I put Mal as the character just because he was the central focus. It's hard not to.
And you're the central focus of your own life. That makes sense.
Yeah. PaulJPowers.com.
Yeah, this might be the only episode where I say this, but I actually would go with Zoe. from that line early on where Mal's kind of saying like, "Hey, how about this thing? This will be with us till the day we die," and she says, "Yeah, because it's a death trap." And then when they're trying to recruit Jane, and he's like, "Oh, that was well put. Wasn't that well put, Zoe?" And she says, "Yeah, it had a certain poetry to it."
Poetry to it, yes.
Yeah, just her responses, and she does that heroic thing, saving Kaylee. So I would like to think I would do that to save Kaylee, but yeah, so I'll go Zoe for this one.
All right, and Drake.
I think I gotta go with Mal.
Yeah.
On
Mal's and Zoe's. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps up. Oh. No, one more thing. Sorry. We're not done yet.
Geek Devotions is devoted to...
Oh, my gosh. That's not what it was. Obviously, it's the Untold podcast. No, you don't have to eat the bean. Okay.
I've got something like bean.
Watching this episode, would you want to continue watching the series? Or would you be like, I'm done? For me, I would definitely want to continue watching. Paul?
I'm in the middle, but leaning towards continue.
Okay. Drake?
Definitely continue. This may have been the first one I saw.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Originally.
Yeah. Baba?
Yeah, I was very impressed with the gumption of young Indiana Jones in this episode. So yeah, I would say so.
And Kitos?
So this is if you've never seen it, and this is the first episode you're seeing?
I mean,
or just continuing.
Just if this, just based on this episode, I guess, would you keep watching? Regardless of whether
this is the first episode you see of this series. Would you watch any more? Not based on what you've heard from other people.
I would put an addendum. If I watch this episode, I would say watch more, but I would say go backwards. Go watch from one. You know,
okay.
If you saw this one, go watch one, and then continue on. Yeah, rather than continuing to the next episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice because it was a marathon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I may have started with this one. I may have caught some of the other ones because I did do like a repeat again, like the next day or something. It was right when the movie launched. So, and then I went to see the movie.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I guess with that, we're done for today. So thank you again, Paul and Drake and Babo and Kitos. And for me, have a good night and stay shiny.
Don't let the space bugs fight.